It is that time of quarter again. It is the earnings call, and if you're yearning for some earnings, well, I've got just the fella to help me talk it through. It is, of course, Randy Kirk of the Randy Kirk Hour, the variety comedy musical show, or rather, it's Randy Kirk, best-selling author, serial entrepreneur, and all-around interesting feller. We're going to be talking about Tesla and what's going to happen on the earnings call. I'm Brian. Welcome to Futuraza. So, Randy, you follow financial markets closely, would you say?
I'd say that's what I do. Yeah. Yes, it's true. Yeah. Every day, all day. Yeah.
Every day, all day. Tesla must do.
First thing I do when I get up in the morning, pretty much the last thing I do when I go to bed at night.
Yeah. Tesla must do these three things on its earnings call or else. What do you imagine those three things are?
I think one, going with kind of the zeitgeist right now in the world of Tesla, I would say one of those would be that Elon has to respond to the question, when is he going to leave Dojo? That would be one, I think.
Yes. Okay.
Number two might be something about the actual Robotaxi rollout. It's probably number two. And number three is probably Model Q.
Okay. So you did pretty good, but you are, let's just be gracious and honest and say you are no Yahoo. Yahoo's got some of their own ideas.
Oh.
Yes, government exit timeline, that is one of them. Tariff impact and turning Tesla around. Well, I mean, first of all, must is a very strong word, and then throwing the or else at the end is... I mean, are you threatening me, Yahoo? Let's see who the author is on this. This is, oops, I went the wrong direction. Brian Sozzi. Brian Sozzi says or else. So I'm taking that very seriously. The tariff impact. Well, let's start with the tariff impact. What are you expecting to hear?
Yeah, well, first of all, that'll have to be in the basic report. The CFO, the Chief Financial Officer, will need to include any expected tariff impact in the basic report that they put out because it becomes financial information that could have a material impact on the future of the company. Now, the problem is that very few of these tariffs have been finalized. So I think he's going to only have to potentially put down which items are most likely to be impacted, whether those items are potentially going to have workarounds, like making them in the U.S. or making them in some country where there's not going to be a tariff, or eliminating, the best part is no parts, so maybe the part gets eliminated. But that's the kind of thing that's going to have to be in the report. Now, from the standpoint of what maybe they want to talk about in addition to that would be expectations of how these things might be changing, how they may think that because of the relationship with China, because of the way the negotiations are going, they think this might happen. But I don't think there'll be a ton of speculation, but I think they will give us a decent amount of financial information and then maybe some color.
I think other companies are impacted so much more. Why isn't this a Ford must address this or else? Why isn't it whatever? Because this is just the first part of the video. We're going to go into the Say Technology questions and we're going to answer those. But this last one here, turning Tesla around. Oh, Randy, the company's headed in the wrong direction. Musk must articulate the turnaround plan for Tesla. Whether he likes it or not, Tesla is now a turnaround story in the eyes of investors. True or false?
Well, okay. So it depends on how you see the company. And Elon has told us, he is the CEO. He is the most brilliant entrepreneur of our age and maybe of any age. And he's already told us how he sees the company. He sees the company as an automation company specializing in robotics that have either 4 wheels or 2 wheels. That's how he sees the company.
2 legs.
Did I say 2 wheels? 2 legs or 4 wheels. So he no longer sees it as a metal bending company necessarily. You have to bend some metal in order to get those products. But that is not the core anymore. The core is how do you automate these things? And that's the future. So how many cars we sell in 2025, how many cars we sell in 2026, as important as that is, and it's still the core business, at least for another probably 18 months, by 20 months from now, 22 months from now, the revenues are probably going to be mostly from Robotaxi and Optimus, and the profits will definitely be from those two categories. So no, I don't think it's a turnaround. I think it is a shift.
Do you know how far behind Nintendo fell in the playing card business when they transitioned to video games? Guys, you're never going to recover. So businesses can change. Sometimes it's for the better. So Say Technologies allows shareholders to ask questions. Let's go over them. What are the highest risk items on the critical path to Robotaxi launch and scaling? What do you think?
Well, I think the number one highest thing is obviously what everybody talks about, which is regulations, especially in Europe and China. And there's also a set of UN regulations, which may also impact all of those, the European and China, but they may also impact lots and lots of other countries, and maybe even some states will be looking at the UN regulations as opposed to doing their own. So Australia, Singapore, South Korea, and others have already said that they will be using the UN regulations. So getting the regulations to allow for Robotaxi and what Tesla will have to do in each of those regions in order to put Robotaxis on the ground probably is at the top of the list now. Not 6 months ago. 6 months ago, the thing has to be able to work. Now that we know it works, because anybody that's driving it now knows it works, and knows that Tesla almost 100% is already driving around vehicles that they know are ready to go. Then
I will say that I have had a critical intervention within the last couple of weeks on the current build where the car was in the wrong lane in a roundabout, and rather than get over at the appropriate time or just change paths, it wanted to hit a car. So I would argue that that it's close, but it's not quite there yet. I'm going to name some things. You tell me if it's a high risk. Okay. Ability to build the car.
No.
Ability to build the car profitably.
Not a risk at all.
No. A lot of these ability to procure riders.
No. They have one of the top brands in the world.
I don't think that's necessarily okay. When will FSD unsupervised be available on our cars?
That's a really good one. That's one that I'm really interested in. What I'm hoping that they'll answer tomorrow. I am wondering, once it's available in Austin, even though we know that there will be a remote driver, and that remote driver will probably be there because of regulations, not necessarily because they think they have to have it. And maybe they'll want it there just as kind of a temporary kind of, what would you call it, training wheels. Mm-hmm. That if they're willing to put those cars on the road in Austin, they could at least give them to us unsupervised with guardrails or with some kinds of
absolutely.
Yeah. So like there could be roads or certain left turns or other things where the car couldn't go. I mean, it already does that. I guess I haven't had it ever do it to me, but well, maybe I have. I have this on-ramp, my main on-ramp, where the traffic is almost always jammed. I mean, 24/7, it's almost always jammed. And sometimes the car just can't find an opening. And so it goes and the road continues off the freeway and onto, the surface streets, or you can go across and try again. So the car sometimes just decides, no, I'm not going to try to jam in where there's no place to jam in. I'm going to just go ahead, go off the freeway and come back up and try again. So there could be situations like that.
Yeah. FedEx doesn't turn left.
Right.
Yes. Right. That's no. Right. Is Tesla still on track for releasing more affordable models this year or will they be focusing on simplified versions to enhance affordability, similar to the rear-wheel drive Cybertruck? I know we discussed that on your channel, but I'd like to hear your thoughts.
Sure. I have, I've been playing along. I've been watching, everybody's opinion on this, and I really tend to trust Elon and the folks that work there, that their words are pretty important. And the words were models and cars. Those are the words on just 3 months ago. They said models, plural, and cars. And a different trim is not a model. It is a different trim. So I'm still looking forward to them announcing a car tomorrow. And I could care less if it's 3 months late. That will not matter to the stock. As long as they give us some color on what it is. If they say, we are going to do a hatchback and a mini truck, but unfortunately, because of tariffs, we're going to be 3 months late or whatever. But yes, I still am holding out. In principle, I'm holding out that they meant what they said. Now, they could explain it away. They could explain it away. They go, we were going to do, a new car, but it's turned out that we don't think in this environment that's the right thing to do.
I could see all of that happening. Sure. Next question we've got here is, does Tesla see Robotaxi as a winner-take-most market? And as you approach the Austin launch, how do you expect to compare against Waymo offering, especially regarding price, geofencing, and regulatory? So this is a very big question. You can take any part of that you'd like. I'll just tell you. Yeah, go ahead.
I can do it very simply. I see Tesla. I take the Cathie Wood approach. I think Elon has endorsed the Cathie Wood approach. And in Cathie Wood's mind, Tesla ends up with about 50% market share worldwide average. I think in the United States, it will be way more than 50%. In Europe, it might be closer to 50%. And in China, it will be less than 50%. And that I base a lot of my China information on you and Brian Wang, who have done deep dives into China and know kind of how those markets work. And I just think that the margins in China are just not going to be there like they are in the United States and Europe. So they will spend more time and energy trying to get the European and U.S. and the Australian and the South Korean and the Japanese or whatever markets. And I don't see Waymo as the slightest competition.
I think Waymo's approach is all wrong. The cost structure behind a Waymo makes it not competitive. I think you could say that Tesla and Waymo compete in a market, but the vast majority of applications for Cybercab are in areas where Waymo cannot compete, which is all of the use cases where you can't charge $1 a mile or $2 or $3 or $4 a mile. So I'm with you on that. And just because the earnings call is coming up in just a few hours, we should definitely keep this short. So I've got a good one here. How is Tesla positioning itself to flexibly adapt to global economic risks in the form of tariffs, political biases, etc.? It's just local sourcing, right?
Well, local sourcing, but also everybody tends to forget about $33 billion in the bank. If you want to go into a recession, and you want to go into a recession in a way that you're going to come out, well, go into the recession with $33 billion in the bank, and go into a recession where you are profitable and none of your competitors are. Go into a recession where you've got a growth product in a brand new growth category. I did this with my own company. We were very seasonal, and every year in October, November, we had to lay off. So what would we do? Every October and November, we would come out with new products, which would then have to fill up the distribution channels with the new products, which usually gave us more ability to keep people on board, keep fewer layoffs, because we had a new product that was going to grow into some additional production. So they are in that position where the other product line, other competitors are maybe putting out a new ICE car. They might even be putting out a new BEV car, but they're not putting out a Robotaxi and an Optimus robot in the next 18 months. So, very well positioned.
And their development cycles are so long. 3 to 5 years to come out with a car that's 2% different than what you have now? What are you talking about? And the last one, just because I think it's hilarious, Robotaxi's still on track for this year?
Yes.
Yes. That is, I don't. Yes. Next question.
Yes.
Guys, this is fun. We have fun. I appreciate everyone who made this trip possible to China, to the folks who've helped me get here and be here. And it's wonderful. It's exciting. It's eye-opening. If you get a chance to go to China, don't. But unless you're with a tour group or have a local host, it's just so much work. And you forget that if you can't read, the world gets very difficult, and getting your technology to work here is difficult. And I thank you to all the folks back in the States for saying, just do this or this. I assure you, those things are not foolproof. They're not just that easy. It's great. You can, but everybody's got free Wi-Fi. Yes, which you activate by getting an SMS code to your Chinese phone number, which I don't have. So that's wonderful. Guys, in the comments, what do we miss? What do we misunderstand? Leave it, I beg of you. We've got this earnings call coming up low in mere hours. I will be there for it live, co-streaming with my buddy Herbert and all the usual great guests. It'll be 3 o'clock in the morning here, but I'll be doing it because it's, it's what I do. Everybody else... It is what I do. Everybody else, like and subscribe. Head over to Randy's channel, see what he's up to over there. And stay tuned, stay juicy, and I cannot wait to hear from you clever robots when I get back to the States.